I want to make something really, really clear. The only one to blame for this assassination is the shooter. He's the one who tried to shoot the president with the facts that we know right now. I am bringing up the president and the left's rhetoric for a couple of reasons. Did it play a role? Absolutely. Are they responsible for it? Well, I want to get into that in just a second. But the rhetoric has been nonstop that this guy is Hitler, that has to be eliminated. He's a Hitlerian. He's a Fifth Reich. He is going to round people up just like Hitler did. That plays a role in unstable heads. Okay, but you can't be responsible for all unstable people that are out there, because there's a lot of unstable people. But you can watch your language. Here's what I think really happened with this kid, and I'm just guessing. This kid is being pumped full of all kinds of bad ideas in school. He is being pumped full of all kinds of bad ideas in the media and social media. He is also seeing that you're really kind of a hero if you, are part of BLM and you burn a city down. If you're on the right side, there is no trial for you. There's no problem. In fact, the vice president will bail you out. So he's seeing the lack of enforcement on one side, which makes it appear that that side is right. And the oldest question known to man in the 20th century is, if you could go back and kill baby Hitler, would you? Implying that you're a hero if you would. The only one that's responsible is the shooter. But there are other things that influence the minds of unstable people. And I want to bring their rhetoric into play, because why are they going after Donald Trump for January 6th? Because he said, go to the Capitol peacefully, let your voice be heard. They're saying he incited this. Those aren't inciting words. Inciting words are much more like, it's time we put a bullseye on Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is Hitler, who has to be eliminated. Now, I don't think that Joe Biden meant the bullseye thing, just like Sarah Palin didn't mean the crosshairs. But if you're going to be consistent, if you're going to be morally consistent, if you're actually outraged by crosshairs, then you should be outraged by bullseye. And if you think somebody's rhetoric can actually cause people to go to the Capitol and tear it apart, well, then you should be concerned about the rhetoric of this guy's Hitler that has to be eliminated. And if you want to be morally consistent, because you're trying that guy, shouldn't you be trying this president as well? Is anybody on the left beginning to see the problems with the cases that they have brought? So here's what I hope the president would say. First of all, I don't think I've seen a bigger act of courage in my lifetime from a president to stand up and insist that he can look at the crowd, make an opening for me so I can see the crowd, and to raise his fist and say, fight. Now, I know a lot of people on the left, they want to say, well, see, he's going for violence. No. Fight for what you believe in. Stop being mealy-mouthed about it. Stand up. Stand up. Fight at the ballot box. Stand up and stop just being plowed under by lies. Fight. You're darn right. You're darn right. I thought it was an amazing moment. However, I was really happy to read what he said. He's going to Milwaukee, yet another amazing. Think about what it feels like to be shot at and almost killed. How long would it take before you could go out in public again? He went last night till Milwaukee, which is significant. We'll tell you why here in a little while. He goes to Milwaukee, and he's on the ground, and he says he's changing the theme of the convention that's happening this week. He's changing it to unity, to peace. I would hope the president will come out and say something along the lines of, we're standing here today because America is resilient. A few days ago, somebody tried to kill me. But by God's grace, that bullet only grazed me. But it is a stark reminder of the divisions and the anger that we see today. And we're at a critical moment. And when you have a bullet whiz by your head, there's two ways to go. One is vengeance, and the other is unity. And our nation is divided. Trust is low in our neighborhoods, in the media, everywhere. But let me echo the words of RFK when Martin Luther King was shot. What we need in the United States is not division. What we need in the United States is not hatred. What we need in the United States is not violence or lawlessness, but it is love and wisdom and compassion toward one another. America is the land of the underdog, of the little guy, and we've always been that way. But when I say fight, what I mean is the little guy needs to rise up. Make sure your voice is heard, to be not afraid. We need to fight, but not with violence. We fight with our words. We fight on the streets with our words and with our actions. And we need to stand up and show what America really means, to stand up against the fear and intimidation. Remember, America was built on the idea that all men and women are created equal, with unalienable rights, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. They're not just words. They are the foundation of this country. Beginning today, let's show the rest of the world what it means to be American. If you believe that America is an exceptional place, then it's the people that make it that way. Every voice matters. Every citizen matters. Stand up for the principles in our Bill of Rights. Defend the truth with integrity and courage. Forgive others without compromising our values. I would hope the president would say, join me now in a different fight. Not with guns, but with ideas. Not with hatred, but with understanding. To begin to write a new chapter in our history. Let's rise above our differences and find our e pluribus unum, our common ground again. Because I do believe that all Americans should not be afraid of their commander-in-chief. If you are afraid of the president, either on the right or the left, that is showing you and screaming at you the power in the Oval Office is too great. And our republic is out of balance. And that's what Project 2025 is all about. That's what I'm going to try to do. That's what the Supreme Court is doing. They are not empowering the seat of the presidency. I'm a president that is going to try to reduce the power of the presidency. We're the United States of America, and we're strong, we're brave, we're compassionate. But it's time to rise to the challenge and fight with the spirit that has always guided us. Let's be the light in dark times. Let's stand together, shoulder to shoulder. We're not a nation divided by fear. We need to be a nation that is united by hope. This is our time to prove the American dream is alive and well. That's what I hope the president says. We already know the difference between the policies. We know for the first time in my lifetime, we have two presidents, two administrations we can A-B compare. It's not like, well, will he do this? We know what he did last time. We know what Joe Biden has done this time. The winning message will be the message that most Americans want to hear. This has got to stop. And it's not going to stop by me forcing half the country to shut up. It's not going to stop by them forcing the other half to shut up. It's going to happen because a leader stands up and says, enough is enough. And can convince the American people, can reverse all of the damage that the elites in our colleges and institutions and our media has done over the last 20 years to convince us that we're a bad people, that we're a racist people. We've done some bad things, but usually the worst things we do are led by our own government. And I've never believed the government was America. I've always believed the citizens were. There are a couple of things that could come our way that we should be aware of. But the most important thing is that you reach out to those who think differently and you show them we are not the neo-Nazi fascist that they have been groomed to believe. It is important today that we all reach out to somebody that doesn't agree with us, that is a friend. Just say, how you doing today? Yeah, I know. Our guy was shot. But I want you to know I don't hold you responsible for that. I'm sure you were just as offended as I was. If they weren't, move on. But most likely, any decent American was horrified by what they saw.